Okay, good afternoon, everybody. This is Dr. Mansour. Sorry for being a little bit late. I was with the other class, the PE. I just finished the PE right now. Welcome to the FE review. Let me go to the other one. This is what posted on our website, a free FE7, and you receive the flyer. Basically, I have some friends and their daughters and sons are taking the exam very soon. So they contacted me to offer something or to help them. I told them I don't have time and I'm really busy. And I did not finish my book, the one I started 2 years ago. So they requested even more. They said that if you can help will be good. I will do my best. So I told them I'm going to offer a very short course because I'm so busy with the PE, number one. Number two, I am working on this book for the last 2 years, and I did not finish it. However, I have 9 subjects, which I list them here. These subjects are in good shape. And let me, since I'm going to help your kids, sons and daughters, I will make it available for everybody. It might help somebody. Until one day I will finish the book. I'm hoping that after I finish the PE and seismic and surveying review, I will be having some time, especially the PE, the 8 hours, which the exam is coming very soon. They have the exam April 22nd and the 23rd. Here it is. This is what I was just talking about right now. Exam. Okay, this is the FE7. No, sorry. This is the PE. PE. Okay, B is AM and PM. By now. So welcome everybody, and I will do my best to help you, and let me tell you what I have in my mind. And after that, so since you enrolled today with this ID, it's only one ID for all the sessions. So basically, I'm going to wrap or finish all these chapters. I finished already 4 or 5 of them, and I will try to come up with the I will coil them and or ask the production company to coil these 9 chapters for me, and I will be glad to send it to you for free, mail it for free. I'm not going to charge you because the course is free, so I'm going to send you the material also for free. Can I send you a PDF? My lawyer is always advising me for the last 28 years since I'm still teaching the PE and the FE not to send a PDF because it can cause a problem, and it did cause a problem one time, by the way, and I don't like this to happen again. So I prefer to mail it and pay for the cost of postage instead of sending you a PDF. And this is my preference. Okay, so let us talk about the exam, but if you can give me just 2 minutes, I will be back after 2 minutes. Okay. Okay, give me 2 minutes. I'll be back to bring the material, and or make it 5 to be reasonable. Okay. Okay. The FE. Let me get the camera. I believe I lost the camera for some reason. let me get the camera again one more time because I need it. Okay, and let me convert this right now so I can load it on the Google Drive. Converting. Yeah, too many things, and I don't know why did I make it back to back, but that's fine. The exam, as all of you know, is a closed book, closed notes, and they start, I believe, in 2014 doing that. In the past, the exam was open book, open notes, and you can carry as many books as you want. Until the NCEES, they decided to switch from the open book to the CBT exam, computer-based test, which is also seismic and surveying for the California exams, also is switched in 2014, and the PE will be switched, by the way, next year also. So the NCEES, they have a reference book, and this is available on their website. You can download this for free, and you can purchase it also. This book, basically, it does have the equations and the formulas and the tables and the charts that you need to use it during the exam. Normally, the screen, you go to the testing center after you pay all the necessary money and registration and all these things. This is between you and the NCEES. The NCEES, here it is, by the way, this is the National Council for Engineers and the Exams and Surveyors. So the screen, the computer screen, will be split into two. One side, you will find this reference book, which is a PDF, and the other side, basically, the questions. And they are 110 questions in 5.5 hours. You can take a break if you want. And multiple choice. And in July, last July 2020, this changed the exam a little bit. So this is the current one, and I'm teaching based on the current one. As you know, the FE, it has different disciplines: FE mechanical, FE industrial, FE electrical, and the FE civil, and the FE general. If you go to the end of this book, you will find that the NCEES, they give us the description for each one of these. For example, let me just... so if you go to the end of this book, if you have the book, or you can go to their website, and you will find this easily. I can email it to you if you want, email these. For example, the first one here is the FE chemical engineering. They are giving this starting July, as I told you, July of last year, this. So they give us the subjects and the topics and the possible questions or the number of questions for each. So they go for all disciplines that they are offering the CBT exam. One of them is the FE7, which is our interest here. This is the one I'm teaching. The civil CBT exam, okay, starting July 2020. In the previous edition of this book, by the way, it used to be 18 subjects. And this is the previous edition, which is 9.9. No, I have 9.5 somewhere. 9.4. This is previous. Just I grab one. 9.5. This is the 10.0. So the reference book 10.0 is the current one. Here it is. The reference book 10.0. So this 9.4, and after it came 9.5, and this is a current one. The 9.5, and like the previous editions, it used to be, by the way, 2 columns side by side. And when I started preparing my book, I said that why 2 columns? 2 columns will be difficult. Let me make my book that it is only 1 column when I copy the material from their book or reproduce it. I said that 1 page or 1 column is sufficient. 1 column per page is much better, and this is what they did, which I'm glad they did that. So if we go to the FE7, instead of dealing with 18 subjects as in the past, right now we are dealing with 14. But what they did, they merged it, by the way. So the FE7, let me show it to you. In the past, and it used to be 18. Here it is. So the FE7 in the previous one consists of 18 sections: math, probability statistics, and so on, all the way to the end, which is the last section was surveying, which is section 18 or chapter 18, if you like to call it. Right now, they said, no, we're going to make it only 14, okay, which is good, okay? So in this case, we are going to go to the civil portion, which I mark it here. And this is how I arrange my book. And this is how we are going to see the material. For example, here, you'll find that the first section is math, mathematics and statistics, from 8 to 12 problems. And they give us the topics: ethics and the professional practice, engineering economics, statics, and so on, until chapter 14, which is the last chapter, which is construction engineering. And the previous chapter is the transportation engineering, geotechnical engineering, structural engineering. So those are the topics that they are included in the current edition or the current exam specifications. The way that I am developing my books, either the PE or seismic or surveying or the FE now, I took these topics and tried to come up with very concise explanation and problems. Because I have a long history of writing these books. By the way back in 1995, when Mr. Lindbergh, PPI, Michael Lindbergh, very famous, in 1995, this was my first trial with him. It used to be EIT, Engineer in Training. So I wrote 5 chapters for him. So, but I wrote it the way he wants. Shahin Mansour, here it is, Shahin Mansour, PhD, California Port Transportation, which is Caltrans, as all of you know that I resigned, or not resigned, retired, much better word. Resigned is, okay. Just last December or January 1st was my first day, but I went back to Fresno State. I'm teaching seismic, and some of you may be taking the class with me right now. I was teaching timber design last semester, and I will teach again. So I went back to, and I am between Caltrans and Fresno State, back and forth, full-time, part-time, do nothing, but I try to keep myself busy and I try to help as much as I can. So today, we are going to go over the static. So statics is the first chapter that you will see it. Okay, statics. Lecture and workshop. When you receive my book or my concise version of the you'll find only 9 chapters, okay, or the 9 topics that we covered here. Topic number 4, I put the order, by the way. The order is as shown in the NCEES. This chapter 4 is statics and dynamics. I skipped it. Mechanics of materials, fluid mechanics, surveying. Okay, I skipped water resources and the environmental, and I jumped onto the structure engineering and geotechnical engineering, transportation engineering, and construction engineering. So this chapter, they are in good shape. So I said I can wrap them up. They are not final yet, but at least I can provide you with these 9 chapters, and it will be in the form of a book like this, and it will be a good tool in order to help you to prepare for the exam. As far as the books available in the market, I'm familiar with all of them. For the last 28 years, I've been doing this, so I am collecting books. So I respect every book, and there are some good books available in the market. You are very welcome to purchase anything, but I will do my best to cover as much as I can. the NCEES, they came up with a book. It does have sample questions, and maybe some of you already purchased it. It is basically, it is a white book like this. Okay, they came up with this book last July 2020. It's called the FE Civil Practice Exam. It does have also the 14 chapters as described at the beginning. They are telling us what is the exam specifications and the format. Okay, this you can order this directly from the NCEES, starting with math, statistics, and the same things that I went over, and the number of questions. And after that, they gave 100 questions. For example, this is a question related to math. They give you the area of the shaded portion is given, so and so, and they give us some sample problems, and they provide solutions also at the end of this booklet. I'm using this as a guideline, but as you are going to see shortly, for example, this is the first question related to statics, which is going to chapter 18, problem number 18. The magnitude in Newton, okay, of the resultant of the three coplanar forces A, B, and C is most nearly, and they give us 4 possible answers. So this is resolving forces and the resultant and so on. If you flip the page, you will find free body diagrams. We need to know how to draw free body diagrams. The following one is asking, okay, give you this shape with some kind of forces, and is asking, okay, select the location on the x-axis where an additional load must be placed in order to achieve equilibrium of this L shape. We'll talk about that. The trusses is something very important. We'll talk about it. Is asking which members in the truss has zero or has no force, which we call a zero force member. We need to know that. So this is static. If you flip the page, you will find that the centroid, this given area, shaded area, we need to look at the centroid, which expression give the distance from the y-axis to the centroid, and they give you the expression, and we need to know that. If you flip the page or go to the second question, you will find that the moment of inertia, or the second moment of area as we call it sometimes, of this area about the x prime axis is most nearly. Okay, you will find that the x prime is parallel to the x axis, and there is a little dot here, and this is C. So C stands for centroid, as you know, and we need to get the moment of inertia about x prime. We are going to use a theory is called parallel axis theory, or parallel axis theorem. Okay, so we need to know how to apply that. Friction, another section. So this is a static problem. If you flip the page, you will find that we have the following. We have 3 forces, and is asking the magnitude of the resultant of these 3 forces. Up to here, this is the end of this is a question number 5, question number 25. This is the end of the static section, and so on. After that, they talk about dynamics and steel, mechanics of materials, hydraulics and fluid mechanics, transportation, horizontal curve, horizontal circular curve, radius and point of curvature and point of tangency, and PI is a point of intersection. Area, we're supposed to know how to do the area using 3 methods. We'll talk about that. Brismodial method, I just talked about it in a few minutes ago. Brismodial There is one method called the Brismodial. So when you read the question number 50, for example, or whatever the number of the question on the actual exam, this will be on the right-hand screen, on the right-hand side of the screen, and you need to do the calculations, and you pick the answer by clicking on the answer. So the cross-sectional area, okay, areas to be excavated at certain sections of a road project is given, and is asking, using the Brismodial method, the volume of earth to be excavated between station 435 and 565. So here is 435, where the area is given, and 565 is most nearly. Here he specified a method. In this case, I have to use this method. Your job will be this book, which is the Fe Reference Handbook, which is, I told you, available as a PDF. You can download it. But this book is for everybody, for mechanical and for civil, industrial, name it. You should know how to search for the Brismodial. For example, I'm talking about this problem here, the Brismodial. And you should go to the equation, because you cannot remember all the equations or memorize all the equations or the table, the chart. But if I know where it is, I will be, okay, very quick. You should be able to. So if you go to the civil engineering, you will find that it will start according to their book, civil engineering, starting with the geotechnical. You will find that on page 258 and so on. And if you go to the transportation section, you will find there is one equation is talking about the Brismodial, how to get the volume of the earthwork using the Brismodial. And let me see, I'm searching by hand, not searching by the PDF. Okay, this is water resources. Okay, and this is the horizontal vertical curves, and the volume, it must be somewhere here, traffic safety, and earthwork formulas. This is on page, by the way, 307 of this book. And here is the Brismodial formula. The volume is equal to L over 6 A1 A plus 4 AM A plus A2. I was just covering this, by the way, for the civil breadth in chapter 8 of my book. You will find that the equations are the same. We're not going to reinvent the equations, but probably I put it in a tabulated form like this with some kind of illustration, and you will see this. Here it is. It is a volume, Brismodial formula, some kind of illustration. It is the volume is equal A1 plus 4 AM plus A2 L over 6, and the 27 to convert cubic feet into cubic yard. Units are very, very important. When you read the question, this question here is the area is given in square foot or foot square, but he needs the volume in cubic yard. So you have to divide by the 27. That's why I included the 27, because there are 27 cubic feet in 1 cubic yard, as all of us know. And at the beginning of the book, of this book here, it has some units and conversions, and we'll talk about this because we need to know that. So the point is, the moment you read a question, you should search for the keyword that will give you the equation, because you cannot remember every single equation, and we'll go over this. After that, we have some questions, a backside surveying. This is hydraulics, pipes and flow and DQ. We have something like this, and is asking the storm volume. And we are going to see that. How can we use this? Q is given, okay, or calculated. We are using something is called the rational method, or other method specified, which is a Q is equal CIA, and we are going to see that. A lot of problems related to trusses. Okay, he's asking, you have a concentrated load of 20 kips moves across the truss. Neglecting the weight of the truss, the maximum force in the member CD due to the moving load. So this load is moving across the truss. It's 20 kips. This member here, which is a compression member, by the way, what will be the maximum force when the load is here, or the load is here, or the load is here, or the load is here, and so on. So we need to know how to draw influence lines, IL. And I will explain this to you, and influence lines for beams and the frames and the trusses. Because this is a moving load, it's not a fixed load. If you flip the page, you will find this another truss, and there is a vertical load here. And he is asking, what is the elastic modulus of velocity? The download vertical displacement. This load that is acting at this joint will push this joint down. How much it will go down? What is the vertical displacement? We have one equation. We're going to see it. And you are lucky that he gave you all the parameters. You are not going to start it from scratch. And we will know that. This here, stability versus instability. We're going to talk about the statically determined, statically indeterminate, stable, unstable, all these things. This here, for example, which combination of moment diagram and deflection shape most accurately corresponding to the continuous beam shown for this given load? So you have this beam here is a statically indeterminate beam. Indeterminate, because this fixed end, and we have 3 rollers here, and we have external load P acting at point C. So he asking you, we have 4 possible answers. Each answer has a moment and deflection. And deflection calculations will go over it. And we need to select the proper answer if we know how to draw the influence line for a statically indeterminate beam, because this will give us a deflection. And the moment diagram, also we need to know how to draw moment diagram. This is another truss problem. Problem number 69 is giving you a truss, and which of the vertical load influence lines shown is the one for the member U2, U3. U2, U3. We'll talk about that. He gave you different influence lines, and we will see that. Concrete beams, steel, this is steel beam. This is a concrete beam, CE132. This is CE133. This is CE130 for those who took the class here at CSC of Fresno. I taught this class for many, many years. Unfortunately, it is a very compacted class is not fair class, but what can I do? I suggested something to Dr. Lalarde when he was the chairman, and I told him this class should be broken down into 2 classes at least, or 3. Statically indeterminate, statically first determinate, indeterminate 1, indeterminate 2, but nobody is willing to listen to me for some reason. I don't know, because I am Egyptian probably. Okay, so this here, thrust analysis, we need to know how to do that. He's asking for the given loads, the force in the member CD. Where is CD? Here it is, CD. And he gave all of them to be compression. We need to know how to analyze trusses using the method of joints, method of sections, or the third method, which is called cut and sum method. And I will teach that, and you will never forget it, okay? If you looked another concrete problem, okay, we need to know that. Geotechnical or soil mechanics. Do you remember this chart is called Atterberg, Professor Atterberg? He is a Swedish scientist. He came up with this chart. It's called the plasticity chart. Liquid limit and the plastic limit and the PI, which is a plasticity index. We will know that, how to use it. A lot of problems, some of them conceptual questions, some of them they have a drawing, some of them they don't. This is a vertical curve. Okay, a highway profile is shown. G1 is given and G2 is given. This is a point of vertical curvature. This is a point of vertical intersection. This is a point of vertical tangency. G1 and G2, and we're going to ask, is asking the minimum design length of the curve is most nearly. L is not given. Asking about the side distance. The driver, I is 3.5 feet, and the object is 1 foot. So if I'm driving and there is a mattress here on the road, 1 foot. Ashto, they are using 2 feet, and I will explain this to you. But we do have an equation for a stopping side distance. I should come to a complete stop before I hit the mattress, or I hit the tire, or I hit whatever object on the road. So it's saying, what is the length of this curve to give me ample distance to come to this stopping side distance, which is called SSD, by the way. SSD. SSD, we're going to see it twice. SSD, we use it as a stopping side distance. Stopping side distance. And we use it also, which we'll cover it here also, when we are talking about concrete. Concrete. I believe they used to have a problem in concrete here, which is SSD. It stands for saturated and surface dry condition. And surface dry. A lot of abbreviations and a lot of notes. You'll get familiar with all these things. Ashto and CPI, all these things. We'll talk about all these things. Believe me, you will have a lot of fun. And engineering economics, for example. So the way that I'm going to teach this class, as I told you, that we'll start with statics today. And I was planning to email you the PDF. Even my lawyer told me don't email any PDF. So probably I will listen to him, because I don't like to be in trouble again by somebody taking my PDF and did something with it and caused some kind of headache. So I will show you exactly what. Let me get my file here very quick and show you what I did, and we'll take it from there. Okay. I believe I have a first print here. For example, this is what you receive. You receive 9 chapters in this format. So what I did, for example, chapter 4, which is statics. Here are the topics. So I copy this verbatim from the NCEES. If you go to statics, let me see if I can locate it. Here it is, statics. Okay. Or let me go to the description first, and after that I will go to this chapter. Statics. Here it is. The exam specifications as given in the NCEES. You will find that we have A, B, C, D, E, and F, and G. So A, for example, is resultants of force systems, equivalent force systems, equilibrium of rigid bodies, frames and the trusses, centroid area moment of inertia, and static friction. Anything else? No. Those are A, B, all the way through G. So I copy them. Here it is, A through G. And the number of questions, or the number of possible questions on the exam, they put it that way, between 8 and 12. So what I did, I went to their equations and topics, and I took one at a time. For example, the static, which is, here it is on page, if you have the book, it's on page 107, by the way. The new book, use a new book, which is the 10.0. The 10.0, as I told you that this is the latest, okay, print. So what I did, I took each one of these, because this is what you'll see on the exam. You are not going to see anything else. No other books can be taken to the exam site. You're going to see this as a PDF on the left side of the screen. And if you have a question related to statics, you need to go to this page, searching for whatever I need. For example, it's asking for the resultant. You have to search for resultant. It will take you to this page, because all these equations are listed there. So I took each one of these and talk about it briefly and provide problems, because problems like the swimming pool, as I telling the PE, if you give me a couple books about swimming and tell me, Dr. Mansour, go ahead and read these 2 books about swimming, and it has a lot of illustrations. You need, in order to be a good swimmer, you have to raise your left hand with the right left, raise your head above the water, name it, all these techniques. It doesn't matter how many books or how many videos I watch, even you give me a couple videos, but if I didn't jump into the swimming pool, I will never learn how to swim. And this is the key here. In order to pass this exam, nothing is called impossible. Passing is very high, and you can pass, because the people before me passed, I passed, the engineers came after me, passed, and it's just a matter of how many hours are you willing to put. Nothing for free. You have to study, you have to sit and do mistakes and solve problems. So you should understand the concept very well. And this is what I will do. Number 2, million times I will repeat this word, the practice and the practice and the practice. And I will keep you busy. I will give you enough problems to keep you busy. Number 3, you must go to the exam with a strategy. Those are the 3 components normally I address it. For example, the NCEES book, the practice exam, you have 110 questions. Some of them you can solve it in 20 seconds. For example, if you look to the question number 100, they provide only 100 here, by the way. Okay, so you will find that is asking very simple question. If you understand question number 100, is giving you, this is a cross section, a drawing of a roadway cross section is shown below. The arrow with a number indicates what? This arrow and this number here indicates what? Indicates the thickness of the surface coating, the slope of the road in 3 inch per 10 feet across the slope, or the edge, okay, of the roadway will receive a chamfer of a 1/4 inch, or a groove, if you understand how to draw cross sections and what's the difference between a cross slope and slope. You should answer it in 20 seconds. And we will learn that when we come to transportation and geometrics of the transportation. So I would solve this problem if I understand the subject very well in 22 seconds. But if you go to a problem like this, the concrete problem, here it is, using the ACI code, the one we use it, by the way, for, they are using an old one, I don't know why. The ACI code right now we have 2018, okay, but currently we are using ACI 318 2014, but they're still using the old one, but they give you the equations anyhow, it doesn't matter. Like the HCM, the Highway Capacity Manual, they are using an old one for some reason, I have no idea why, but it's not my problem or your problem. It is up to them. What references they are citing, we are going to follow them. So, ACI, the value of phi that should be used in computing the moment phi m sub n, and they give you some parameters here, the f sub c prime, which is f sub y, and the dimensions, and the 4 number 10 bars. Probably it will take more time than the problem 100, the one I showed you, cross slope. So you have to be selective. For example, the problem on the same page, number 70. This is in a steel manual. Steel beam, F sub y is given, C sub b is given, and then asking, I need to go and look to some charts in order to be able to solve this problem. So you have to be selective because you need to pass. I don't like to go to my wife and tell her, oh my God, my wife, I solved the most difficult problem in the exam. Yes, honey, but you spend 15 minutes. You could solve other 3 or 4 questions. So you have to be, and this is based on your practice. If you practice enough, which I will say a million times, practice and the practice, this is a key, the most important key among these 3 elements. You will be able to decide, oh, this problem it will take, because you have 110 questions and you have 5.5 hours. So please do your best and I will do my best. So what I did, for example, I finished the majority of the 9 chapters. I will try to wrap them as soon as possible and they will mail it to you. PDF will be very difficult for me. As I told you, I was tempted this morning to send it to those who are enrolled in the class because I have your email address. Because when you enroll in our class, I believe you need to provide the email address. Only this. I did not ask for anything else. Okay, we could ask for other information, but it's optional. If you feel that you don't like to provide you with your mailing address, that's fine. It's your decision. Just sit and listen, and that's it. Okay, if you'd like to provide you your mailing address, I'm not going to use it to I've been doing this for 30 years with the PE, and you can go to the history, go to the Amazon, and you will find my books over there, and the evaluation, and search it about Dr. Mansour if you are reluctant to provide me with any information. Okay, so I will be glad to mail it to you. For those who are live in Fresno, I do have an office. I can give you the address and come and pick it up. I have no problem with that. At least you will save the money for me. You are going to save the mailing cost. Okay, but you will not come to the office because the office is closed. I will be in the office maybe, but the package will be outside. You can come and pick it up like I did for the seismic group also. Teaching the seismic class, I told that the seismic book, I can give it to you for free if you cannot afford it. And some of them, they said, yes, we cannot afford the books, and I gave it to them for free. And some of them, they provide me with the mailing address. I mail it to them. Some of them, they were very late, so they came and picked it up. I left it in the front of my office. I'm at the corner of Cedar and Herndon for those who are in Fresno. But for those who are outside Fresno or far away from this location, or you are not interested to come to where my office is, but it must be between 8 and 5 because I am in the second floor and there is a gate. Security, they close the gate around 5 o'clock to the best of my knowledge. You can come and you can email me and I will put your name, and please, when you come to pick up your package or don't pick package for somebody unless he already give you authorization. Don't pick anybody's package, okay? Unless he gave you a permission to do that. All of you are adult, and I'm sure that nobody will pick something that he doesn't belong to him. So I took each one of these and I start to everybody is calling me because they are not aware of that I'm teaching today. Okay, especially my wife and my kids are calling me. Where are you? Okay. Yeah, okay. So, okay. So let's start. Let's start at least to give you exactly what's going on. And normally the first day is not the best day, especially you don't have the material. But I will tell you the way I am teaching the course. And if you are interested to continue, that's fine. If not, don't worry. Just send an email. I can remove your name from the mailing, or just don't show up. Don't. The computer will not my computer, the webinar company, because I'm using something called Wix, not Wix, sorry. Go to webinar, yes, go to webinar and go to meetings. Go to webinar and go to meet. It's a very good company, go to meetings, okay? In fact, I'm using also for my seismic and timber class, I'm using this before Zoom even invented. I prefer to use them and pay the money for that. I told the school I'm willing to pay for, and I'm using my system. It's much easier and much, I like it, and it's very powerful compared to the other, from my point of view, okay? So anyhow, but any way or any method, you are very welcome to attend or not to attend. This is your decision. So you are very welcome to raise your hand. You have a control in the front of you, control panel. You can raise your hand. The moment you raise your hand, I will be able to see your hand and who wants to talk, and I can allow you to speak out. When you speak out, everybody will hear you. So you have to be careful, okay? So if you don't have a mic, or we do have a problem with the audio, you are very welcome to write a question in the question area. For example, one of you wrote a question. I can read the question. Let me read the question first, okay? This is a very good class. You are very welcome. Thank you very much. Okay, but somebody is raising the hand. Let me see who is raising the hand. And let us go to Badr. Hi, Badr. How are you?
Hello, doctor. How are you? I'm fine.
You are in New York. Is this or New Jersey? Is this correct?
New Jersey. Yeah.
How is the weather over there today?
It's cold somehow.
Cold. Do you have a snow?
No.
Okay, good. Okay, so now you can study without snow. No problem. Okay. For example,
yeah.
Badr, he raised his hand. How I know that? I opened my control panel here and I unmuted him, and whatever discussion I had with him right now, you heard me, okay, between me and him. So, and you are very welcome to raise your hand and ask a question about any material or any equation, or you don't understand this, how you did it, and so on. The moment I finish the discussion with Badr, I will mute him. Now he cannot, okay, communicate with me anymore through audio. He can write a question, yes, and so on. So let us do our best and let us proceed. And if I need to add another session in order to finish this, if the first session today is not the, if I'm not able to finish, I could add another session here. I don't know when you are going to take the exam because it depends on the testing site. Pearson's, I believe Pearson's, they are doing the FE, but Prometric, they are doing seismic and the surveying. So I will be glad to add another session. And this is a very concise until hopefully I can finish my book later on and probably I will offer the class. I'm shooting for May 15 to offer a comprehensive class, but it will not be for free. After this class, it will not be for free, but your decision to join or not, this will be okay. So another engineer, okay, raising the hand, and some of you maybe say, wait a second, we are not engineer yet, okay. You need to put your hand, my friend, okay. If you have no question, okay, you can put it by mistake, by the way, you could raise your hand, but if I put it down and you raise it again, I will assume that you are having a question for me, so I will unmuted you. For example, Badr, I saw his hand again, maybe by mistake, or maybe he has another follow-up question. So in this case, I will unmuted him and we'll do it. Okay. So I got a question. No problem. Not at all. Not at all. No. Don't. Okay. There is nothing wrong if you raise your hand and you change your mind. No problem. You are very welcome to change your mind. Okay. So if you look to the material that you will receive from me, how I arrange it and how I prepared it and how we are going to handle this. And you are very welcome to email me with any question. I will do my best. I am extremely busy. This is my biggest problem. Okay. This is my biggest, but it's not your problem, it's my problem. Okay. So the way I, let me just have a sip of water because I've been talking this morning since 8:30 in the morning for the PE. I don't know how many words did I talk or did I say this morning, since morning. So as I told you that I took, this is what I took from the NCEES. And I put something here to indicate that. So if you go to the NCEES, what you will see? You will see this. This is the actual document. Force. A force is a vector quantity. It is defined when its magnitude, point of application, and direction are known. The vector form of a force is given as F is equal Fxi plus Fyj. This is the first paragraph I took from the NCEES and I put it in a box. This is what you will see on the exam. But obviously their format, this is just, I tried to make it a little bigger. And I indicated here on the side that this is from the NCEES Fe Reference Handbook. Verbatim, I did not change it. So this is not my Egyptian English. Okay, a force is a vector quantity. It is defined when its magnitude, point of application, direction are known, and this is my job right now is to take this English, it translate into English, which is a little bit that what is a force? A force, which is a vector quantity, is defined as the action of one body on another. So I tried to clarify the definition of the force. So right now, this is a book, and the book is supported by a table. If I push this book down by my hand, I am applying a force. This is the action of one on another body. I am pushing. So the action of one body on another body. And a little bit more. And I say that 3 requirements are required. Magnitude, point of application, direction. The same 3 things mentioned here. Let's just put it 1, 2, 3. So I'm saying that this is a situation in figure 4.1. I have 707 Newton at 45 degrees. I have a force. I have a reaction. These 3 forces are meeting at a common point. They have a name, or this kind of force system, it has a name. You cover this in CE20. For those who took the class, I taught CE20, I don't know how many times, but or whatever numbering system in your school. But if you look to the following, I'm saying that Let us talk about forces and let us classify them. Classification, or the types of forces. The first one is concurrent force system. What's a concurrent force system? Like this. System of forces are meeting at a common point. Like this, or this, or a 3D. This is a 2D. How I know this is a 2D? 2D means two-dimensional, X and Y. A 3D, I will add the Z to it. So the X and Y and Z, X and Y and Z. This we'll call it a concurrent force system. What's the definition? Systems of concurrent forces where all lines of actions of all forces intersect at a common point. They are meeting at one common point. And I give you examples. Where we are using the sum of the forces in the X direction and sum of the forces in the Y direction must be equal 0. This is one of the equilibrium equation, and this is another equilibrium equation. And you will say that, wait a second, equilibrium equations are 3. Yes. This is before Corona. After Corona, they became only 2. No. Equilibrium equations are 3. Before Corona and after Corona. But what happened? Why I am missing one here? The moment equation, which is the third one. Sigma moment is equal 0. Why the moment equation, it doesn't show for a concurrent force system? Because what is a moment? Moment we are going to see is a force times distance. Force times arm. For concurrent force system, they don't have an arm. The arm, because all of them are meeting at a common point, as we are going to see. So this is why, if you look to this, for a 2D system in the NCEES, as I put here, they are putting I and J. What happened to the K? Because if you remember, and you will see this, you will find that this is X, and this is Y, and this is Z. They assign a unit vector, they call it I. And a unit vector, call it J. And a unit vector, call it K. I is along the X, J along the Y, K along the Z. This is the notation that your grandfather and my grandfather agreed upon. Don't change it, please. I cannot say K will go with X now, because your grandfather will be really upset and my grandfather will be extremely upset. This is the standard notation. And as you can see, this I is a boldface. Why? Because this is a vector quantity, is not a scalar quantity. In textbooks, there are 2 ways to express a vector. Either to make it a boldface like this, or put it like this and put an arrow on top of it to indicate that this is a vector quantity, this is a vector. They found the boldface is much easier instead of putting an arrow, because the quantities are either scalar quantities or vector quantities. So any quantity, we use it in our life, either scalar or vector quantity. And we'll see. So the vector quantity, okay, we are putting an arrow on top of it. Or make it a boldface like I just mentioned. So, and this is what they did here, by the way. You can see in the original document, this is the NCEES, by the way. And I hope that all of you will, you can print, by the way, because this book is too thick. And I know costing is, it is how many pages? It is 490 something. 494. Obviously, printing it is costly. If you purchase it, I believe they sell it for $25, the NCEES. 25 or 30, but you have to pay shipping and the handling and how long it will take from them. Or you can print only selected topics. If you can print only the selected topics, this will be the best. What topics you need to print? the 14 topics listed in the civil section. Sorry, under the civil section, not in the civil section. For example, statics is not in the civil. Civil is all the way at the end here. Civil, okay. I can show you all these things, which already I showed you once. Here it is. Starting on page 258. I can send an email to you, tell you what page you need to print. 258. Here it is, civil. They group them mechanical and industrial and to make it easy. But there are some subjects, everybody, math is everybody. Engineering, mathematics, here it is math. Okay, engineering, economy, material science, name it. So there are some subjects that dynamics and statics, it depends on your, but when they come to the civil engineering, they are putting all the subjects, especially you will find that subject that only required for the civil, like the geotechnical is a very large section. And after that, this is the soil classification. After that, you will find structural analysis. This is on page 267. Okay. And after that, structural design. Name it, and so on. So they put the civil, okay, the civil engineering, this is concrete and steel, and so on, transportation, water, hydraulics and hydrology. All these things are transportation, okay, until latitude and departures. Environmental engineering right now, this is different. We're not covering environment. So we ended with, so the civil will end, by the way, on page 308, which is construction, which is, if you remember, construction was chapter 14. And I have 3 books for construction for the PM, for the PE, but this is a very, very, very simple and very, very concise section. And we will go over that. For example, ASHTO, equations for the pavement design. Here it is, highway pavement design. And we have something that's called LEF. They produce the LEF for you. Load equivalency factor, and we will know that. For those who took CE 150 and 151, they know that. Anyhow, name it. So you don't have to print the entire book, okay? In my book, you will find that what you need from the NCEES, it is here, but it's not complete yet, okay? You will get the 9 chapters first, but for those who are going to take the exam soon, in this case, you need to manage either download the entire book and you know what's, because you need to know what is in the NCEES reference book. Because if you don't know the equations and the tables and the charts and how to use it and where they are located, it will be very difficult to pass. Because you don't have any other sources, okay, or any material that you are allowed to take with you to the exam. And I'm sure that you are familiar with all this. I'm just saying this for some of you who are new and they did not go through this process. So I need to make everybody aware of this. Going back to the concurrent force system. So if you flip the page, you will find that I have the second group of non-concurrent force systems. I have a concentrated load here. I have 2 forces equal magnitude, opposite direction. I have a distributed load, concentrated load. So they are not meeting at a common point. This load is going to be substituted by a single load here. There is this tools will be moment, another load here, reactions, name it. So here, the 3 available equations, sigma force X equals 0, sigma force Y equals 0, sigma moment equals 0. All the 3 equilibrium equation for a 2D. Is this 2D? How I know that? He told me that. Here it is in the plane of the paper, X and Y. So this is non-concurrent force system, distributed load, concentrated and coupled. The third category, concentrated forces. Forces could be concentrated or distributed. So the concentrated one, we assume it to be acting over a point. A force acting over a small contact area, and we usually assume it to be a point, like the tire of your car or my car. When we analyze the tire and see the load coming to the pavement, I know there is a contact surface between the tire and the pavement, but for simplicity, we make it a concentrated load. This load here is a concentrated load acting over a point. But this is a distributed load, which is a second distributed load. It is a force acting over a length, either with uniform or non-uniform. We are going to see this in just a minute. So what about how can we resolve or how can we handle a 2D system? So this is the X and Y. So this is 2D. I give you a force here, or a tension here, and this is a 2D system, XY. And this is a concurrent force system, by the way. Here it is, a component of concurrent force system in 2D. How many unknowns here? I have the tension along AC and the tension along AB. How many available equations? This is a 2D. And it is concurrent. How many available equations do you remember? Sigma force X equals 0 and sigma force Y equals 0. The moment equation does not exist. How many unknowns I have here? I have the tension along the AC and the tension along AB. Can I solve it? I look to the number of unknowns and the number of available equations. Available. If the number of unknowns and the number of available equations are equal, I can solve it. It's called statically determinate. And I need you to know that, and we are going to see this. So systems is either statically determinate where the number of unknowns equals to the number of equations, equilibrium equations, obviously. A plus, by the way, we have something that's called conditional equations, and we are going to talk about this later on. Conditional equations. And also, by the way, I scan the notes. For example, today I was teaching the civil. I will scan my notes and send it to them. Scan it color and send it. So anything I write, I will scan it and send it to you. You will receive it tonight or early in the morning. And also I will do my best to, I will convert this recording and I will load it on the Google Drive, and I will send you the link where you can see it again. You can watch it again as many as you want. So determine it, but I encourage you to attend. Don't say, oh, I'm going to watch it on the Google. It will be a good idea if you come. If you are serious, you are very welcome to come. If you are not serious because you don't have enough time to study, or you have a family commitment, or you have work commitment, and you say that I will come for fun, I prefer to sit on the couch and watch TV for fun, much better. But if you are serious, do it. It is a torturing mechanism invented by the boards or the NCAA. Exams are hard. Torturing mechanism. You try to torture yourself only once. So say that I'm going to take it this time, I'm going to pass, and that's it. No more money to the state or to, unless if you'd like to balance the budget, this is generosity from you. But you can pass and donate money to the board or to the state to balance the budget if you feel that you are obligated to balance the budget. Don't worry, the federal government will take care of the budget. Just pass the exam and do your best. But take it seriously. If you are not serious or you don't have time, let me take the word not serious, because some of you said, well, no, we are serious, Dr. Mansour, don't. No, if you don't have time, if you have family commitment, this is why I said if you have a family, I try to correct my statement, family commitment or work commitment, and you don't have the time, I prefer personally take care of the other businesses, and when you are ready, come. Okay. How many hours you need to study? From my personal point of view, minimum, I am putting 500 hours. You need to study. So from now until the exam day, you know your exam day. If you set it up already, that's good. If you have room, I don't know. I know they canceled a lot of exams because of this pandemic. Hopefully that everything will be fine after a few. Hopefully the president is correct, and he said that July the 4th we have barbecue outside and everybody will enjoy. So try to see from now until your exam day, and be consistent. Study 2 or 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day, 10 hours a day. I know you are working, you are a student, you are father or mother, or you have a lot of responsibilities, but everything has a price. Nothing for free. In order to pass, you have to put. If no money, no honey. You know this statement. So, statically determinate. The number of unknowns equal the number of equations plus any conditional equation. And we'll talk about this later on. Like, for example, this here, assembly supported beam, which we are going to see it a lot. And I have a distributed load. And I have concentrated load. Or I can use this. I can use this. This is a good example here. How many unknowns I have here? This is called a hinge / pin. How many unknowns I have here? Do you remember from school? Yes. I have 2 unknowns. I have A sub y and I have A sub x. Because this is what? What do you call it? This is called a roller. It does have only one unknown, C sub y, which is perpendicular to the contact surface, normal. So I have 1, 2, 3. Number of unknowns are 3. How many available equations? This is a 2D system. I have 1, 2, 3. The number of unknowns equal the number of available equations is solvable system, is aesthetically determinate. And we are going to solve this. The other group that is statically indeterminate. I have a cantilever beam like this. And this cantilever beam is carrying, for example, a concentrated load B of 10 kips. And it has L of 8 feet, for example. This beam here is what? As is right now, is aesthetically determinate. Why? Because the fixed end, this is called fixed end, it has 3 unknowns. 1, 2, and the fixed end moment. If this is A and this is B, so I have A sub y, and I have A sub x, and I have the moment at A. How many unknowns? 1, 2, 3. Is this 2D? Yes. How many available equations? 3. But if I come and add another support here, a roller support, what will happen? Oh, now by putting this, I am generating another reaction, which is B sub y. So the number of unknowns, my friend, changed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Some of them could be 0, but still number of unknowns. So 4 unknowns. How many available equations? It's still 2D. A greater than 3 equations. So this system is called statically indeterminate to the first degree. The number of degrees of indeterminacy is the difference between the number of unknowns and the number of available equations. 4 minus 3 is 1. So this is statically indeterminate to the first degree. And we will handle that. How can we do that? This is system number 1, statically determinate, which is the easiest one. Is the system number 2 statically indeterminate? And let me remove this 500 hours because maybe some of you got upset. Oh my God, Dr. Mansour is going to ask us to study forever. No, not forever. Everything has an end. Anything has a beginning and has an end. So if you decided today is the first day and the beginning for the FE, just do it as soon as possible. The better, the sooner the better. The sooner the better. There is a statement by, I always repeat this statement with our friends who are taking the PE for the last many years, 30 years or so. Do you know Benjamin Franklin? Who's Benjamin Franklin, by the way? Benjamin Franklin. Let me see if I have money or not. Sometimes I carry money with me. Sometimes, okay. Don't say Dr. Mansour is always carrying money. No. Who is this guy? This is 100. Don't say as human carrying. I'm not carrying dollar with me. Oh my God, Benjamin. Who is this? I believe this is Benjamin Franklin. Yeah, his. Yeah, this is him. Do you know who is Benjamin Franklin? This in the $100 bill. Search it, Google it. I'm sure that you are familiar with this. You have history better than me. But Benjamin Franklin has a statement. I always mention it in my email. If you receive an email from me, you will see it. By the way, it's not to bother anybody. It's to encourage everybody. I'm here to help and encourage. Benjamin Franklin mentioned very important statement. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. Let me correct my. Oh, somebody's asking for my $100. Oh my God, no! You are preparing. So by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. Very, very important saying by Benjamin Franklin. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. If I do not prepare myself for the exam, I'm sorry that I will go to the exam and I will fail. Don't say that by luck. The lottery, okay, will work for me. No, lottery does not really, or you are win. Okay, you have to, nothing for free. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. You have to prepare yourself very well. So the third one, I will answer you in just a minute, my friend. One of you is, okay, adding something here. I'd like to, you are very welcome to correct, or if I did something, or if you feel that the number 3 of the systems, something we call it unstable. The unstable was mentioned, and you saw it today, by the way, in one of the problems of the NCEES. And oops, I don't mean it. I don't mean it. Let me, no, cancel. I'm sorry. Okay, let me get everything back. Here we go. Okay, it seems that one problem, and I have many problems related to this. We'll talk about it. Let me see if I can locate it in 22 seconds. Start from now. Count 22 seconds. If I didn't get it, I owe you a lunch. And if I get it, you owe me a lunch. Deal? Deal. Okay, I got it. Okay, did you count how many seconds? No. Okay, so this here, he gave you problem number 67, if you have the book. This is the new one, okay, not the old one. The frame in the figure below, unstable, stable and determinate, indeterminate to 1 degree, do you see me, the degree of indeterminacy, or indeterminate to 2nd degree. I need to know what are the number of unknowns and the number of available equations. And this is going to lead me to the third, which is unstable. System number 1, we call it statically determinate. System number 2, statically or indeterminate. And the third one is the green. Oh my God, the green. You know the Green Party? Or there is a Green Party runs for presidency. Okay, Green Party. What is statically unstable? Do you remember this roller, which I told you it has only one unknown that is perpendicular to the contact surface? Imagine that you hired me, Dr. Mansour. I need you to design a bridge for me. And I did this bridge for you. I told my friend, I will build a very nice bridge for you. One roller here, and here is the river. And the river has some water, and there's some fish here, by the way. And I opened the day of the cutting the ribbon, and everybody is waiting. And here is the bridge. And these two rollers here, how many unknowns I have? I have, if this is the beginning of the bridge and this is end of the bridge, this is B sub y, and this is A sub y. Is this correct? Only one unknown. So how many unknowns I have? I have only two. How many available equations? Are three. This is a 2D system. So the number of unknowns less than the number of available equations. So the first car will go over this bridge, assuming this Dr. Mansour will drive over this bridge, the one who designed. Probably the owner told me, Dr. Mansour, try it first. The moment I go over this bridge, the bridge will move with me. I will take it and maybe fall in the water, and the fish will take care of me. Because this is unstable, my friend. There is no force or there is no reaction to prevent this bridge from moving with the car or with the vehicle, whatever the vehicle is, or pedestrian. Somebody can push it. A kid can come here and push it. So it is unstable, and we study this. And I'm sure that in CE 130, they talked about the instability, and we'll talk about that because there is one question we talked about. So going back to I finished that. A 2D system, two unknowns, and this could be a question. I believe I have it as a question. I believe, yeah, I have it, I believe, as a problem. No, different. I can find these two reactions, or these two tensions, or these two forces, whatever you'd like to call it, because I have two unknowns and two equations, solvable system. But when you have the number of unknowns exceeding the number of available equations, statically indeterminate, and we solve it also. But there must be some kind of techniques, and you will know that. Oops, here it is. The camera sometimes. This is a table that different types of load: concentrated, distributed, uniform, linear, nonlinear. And you will find, in order to emphasize or to clear the concept, you will find I add some stuff here. I call it rules. I don't invent them. Like I did not invent the knowledge in this booklet, by the way. It's just presenting the knowledge. So I don't invent anything. I'm just presenting the knowledge that I learn and the knowledge in the textbooks with whatever copyright is required. So important rules for load or forces and moments. I needed to remember that. Nobody will ask you to memorize it. We need to understand. So rule number one: any inclined force must be resolved into components. And we are going to see this shortly. Any inclined force or slanted force, break it down to components much easier. If I have a force like this, F is equal 8 kips, and this is a 3, or make it this 4, and this is 3, so this is 5. I can substitute this force by two components. One in the x direction, we call it F sub x, which is equal 8 over 5 times 4. And the one in the y direction, which is 8 times 3 divided by 5. Sine and the cosine. And we are going to see this shortly. By doing this, resolving forces into components, much easier to some moment and find the unknowns. And you are going to see that. The second rule, any distributed load or force must be replaced with an equivalent concentrated forces acting at their okay. Sorry, everybody is calling me like, okay. So if you have a distributed load like this, this is a distributed acting on a cantilever beam. This beam here is 9 feet. And this load here increasing linearly from 0 at the fixed end. This is fixed end. We are using this symbol here to indicate this is fixed end, totally fixed. Okay, this is a shelf in your house or your apartment, and you are putting all the books, the FE books here, but for some reason the books at the end here or at the edge of this shelf, they are heavier a little bit. And this here is 2 kips per foot. So the load is increasing linearly like this, but this is trapezoidal, linearly from 0 to the maximum load intensity or force intensity, 2 kips per linear foot. And this, I will call this end A, and I will call this end B as in boy. We know that we have 3 unknowns here. We have A sub y and A sub x, and we have a moment. It's called M sub A. We call it fixed end moment. Imagine this is a shelf, and you put all the FE books on top of it. If these books will create a moment, it's called disturbing moment. If this shelf is not securely anchored into the wall, the books will fall down. Is this correct? The shelf will come down, and we have some accident like this, by the way, but more complicated scenario like this. I know you are tired and already 6 o'clock, I believe, 6:02 Pacific Standard Time. Can you find these 3 unknowns for me? Can you give me what is A sub y and A sub x and M sub A? Okay, I need you always, the calculators, the NCEES, they have a calculator policy. You need to check with the NCEES to see what, so go to the NCEES.org. They are available on my website to the best of my knowledge. I asked the webmaster, if I'm not mistaken, I asked him to put it on my website. Is this correct? Let me see if he did it or not. No, I believe he did. He did. Where is my website? I do have one. Here it is. It has the Egyptian pyramid, by the way. Here it is. This is, you see this Egyptian pyramid here? So if you go down, or just NCEES.org, whatever is convenient for you. But I have it here at the bottom, I believe. I asked him to put it, and I hope that it's still there. Here it is, NCEES. Click on it. It will take you to the NCEES. Here it is. This is the Bible for everything, as far as rules, regulations, exams. And I need you to visit this website. I'm sure that when you enroll, you have to register with them. You have to accept the cookies, by the way. Okay. So you know all these things. Okay. So I don't know why I mentioned NCEES. Okay, that's fine for some reason. So now, oh yeah, about the calculator policy. Okay, here it is. So you need to check with them to see what the examination registration, all these reasonable, they have study materials, they have calculator policy. When you apply, all these things are here. It is full of knowledge. You need to stick with the rules and regulations stated here because they can ask you to leave the exam. Okay, so the calculator policy, they have certain calculators are allowed and some calculators are not. This is between you and them. I don't involve in that. But whatever calculator you are going to use, the HB or the Casio or another HB, different, or the TI, some of you are familiar with the TI, Texas Instrument, or some of you are prefer Sharp. All these calculators, tons of them are available and they are not very expensive nowadays. But as long as you stick with the calculators that conforming with the NCEE's policy, because if you have a calculator that is not permitted, they will tell you, sorry, you are not allowed to enter the exam. So you have to, and you need to be familiar with the calculator very well. You don't have time on the exam to figure out how to use the calculator, all the functions. Okay, this is Casio FX. A lot of engineers, they like this FX 998 or the previous one. Where is the other one? I believe somewhere here. Here it is. Here it is. Okay, so this is the other Casio FX 115 ES plus. Many engineers, they prefer to use it for the FE. It is up to you. It does have equations, it does have matrices, it does have integration. All these things is okay. Try to do your best to learn it. Okay, so my point is you have to decide which calculator you are going to take, and I prefer if you can take two. And ask them if they can allow more than two. I prefer to take three, not. But if the maximum number can two, I will take two. Battery, it should be the batteries, brand new batteries, and because there is no, you have to be well prepared. Let's move it that way. Don't take risk. Okay. So, having said that, and use these two calculators, whatever the calculator you are going to choose, TI, HB, whatever. Try to use it on your daily basis. If you are a student, use them. If you are working, use them. Because I need you to get familiar with all these, okay, functions and all these buttons and all these things, because it's very important. So let me give you 2 minutes. Can you find these three unknowns? In 2 minutes, starting from now. Right now, 6:08, 6:10, I will stop. Okay, time is up. So 3 unknowns. If you look to these rules, one of them, rule number 2, say that any distributed load or force must be replaced by a single concentrated or an equivalent concentrated loads or forces acting at the centroids of their centroids. This is just a simple triangle. So what is the area? The area is 1/2 base times height. So 1/2 times 2 times 9 will give you 9 kips. Where is located? At the centroid. Where is the centroid? Is 1/3 and 2/3. So from here to here is 6 feet, and from here to here is 3 feet. And we should know that for those who took statics. So the A sub y, if 9 kips coming down, I have 9 kips going up, equilibrium. Sigma force y equals 0. A sub x is equal 0, so A sub y is 9 kips. What about the moment? Some moment here, my friend. So it is 9 times 6 is 54 kip feet. And this, because I know this distributed load is substituted by a single concentrator acting at the centroid, 1/3 from here or 2/3 from here. And we will see this. The NCAAS, they have tables, and we're going to see these tables at the end, okay? And these tables are here. Okay, I copied the tables also, and you will see all these tables. Here are the tables, and we'll go over them. Here are the tables in the NCAAS, which is in the section of the statics. Centroids, here it is 1/3 and 2/3, here it is. But we should know that, okay? But in the exam, you don't have to, okay? There are some information, it should be stored in your computer, and we should be able to do it. And quick, okay? A problem, I have problems. For example, this chapter here, the static chapter, which is chapter 4, I have, I don't know how many problems. I have 28 problems here, 28 under each section. This is the last section, for example, under concurrent forces. I explain it and a problem. And after that, the tables they provided, I include the tables. And after that, I have additional practice problems. 4-1, 4-2, how many problems I included this time? I have 9 problems. So 9 and 28. 28. So 28 and 9 is about 37 problems related to statics only. I believe if you understand these problems, and I'll try to find some additional problems like homework problems, I believe if you understand the 37 problems and understand the concept, you should be able to solve the problems in statics. And as I told you that they are putting between 8 to 12 questions related to statics. So this is the way that I'm going to teach this course. I will move, for example, another problem 4-2. I give you 3 forces, 3 concurrent. We need the components. Conceptual question, problem 43. Which of the following is true for a concurrent force system? We need to read the 4 possible answers and pick what is the best answer. After that, I go to another section. What is this section? We're still in the first page, on the first page of statics, okay? So you'll find that here it is. They are talking about the resultant, 2 dimensions, F and theta. You'll find I took this and I put it here. This is what you will see. And I put it in a box and I wrote on the side here that this is coming from the FE. This is what you will see. We need to know what does it mean this, what does it mean this. And my job is to take this English and translate it into English and solve problems. A little bit of discussion, problems after problems, swimming pool. Without going, do you remember the swimming pool analogy I made? And after that, result, and so on. And so on. I did all my best. I cannot claim that anything other than my best. And mechanics of materials, for example, is another chapter that it is materials. So I try to finish as much as I can. I'm really, really busy, and I'm trying to intentionally. The intention was to help the daughters and the sons for my friends, but since I want to make it for free, because he offered me money, I told him no. If the course is not complete, I will not feel comfort to charge anything. So I will do it, and if I decided to offer the class, or if the book is ready by May 15, hopefully, okay, just pray for me to stay healthy, and pray for you to stay healthy. So if you are interested to send the material, I believe it will be sent after Wednesday. I cannot send it before Wednesday because I'm extremely busy with the PE. I need to prepare an exam for them. They have mock exam next Saturday, and I have tons of things to do. So I will try to squeeze as many hours as I can, and I will be glad to mail it to you, whatever material I have, to mail it to you, coiled and printed. Don't worry, I'm not going to charge you. And obviously, this is not in the final format, so you may find a typo or a mistake or an error. It's not a big deal, as long as we are able to understand. And if you have any question, you can email it to me. I have different emails. The best thing to do is info@pespe.com. This info@pespe.com. Everybody wants to pass his PE. So when I started this business 30 something years ago, I said, pass PE, everybody wants to pass his PE. Okay. So .com. So info@pespe. This is the email that I see it every day. Unfortunately, I'm doing everything almost everything, because since Corona, since last January, I am alone in my office here. I have a rental place at the corner of Cedar and Herndon in Fresno, California, and I'm almost doing everything by myself. Yes, I retired from Caltrans after 30 years, but I'm still loaded with tons of things, especially I'm doing everything by myself. So be patient with me, and I will be patient with you, and I will stop here today. This is the first day until you get the material, and after that we'll take it from there, and hopefully that I can help you guys to prepare for the exam and pass it and forget it just one time, and that's it. Okay, so I wish you the best. If you have any book you need to study from it, study. I'm not against any book available in the market. You can buy anything you want. The market full of books. You are very welcome to purchase any book or any, as long as I respect every knowledge and every author, every professor, every other vendor. Everybody is submitting, or everybody is presenting the material from his perspective. Like you are in school and you went to school. Some of you already are in school. Every professor is presenting the material from different angle, from different perspective, teaching different teaching methodology. I am doing my best. The only thing I can say, I respect everybody else, but I present what I believe that it might help. I cannot guarantee it will help, because I cannot guarantee anything. My lawyer told me this: stay away from the word guarantee, because guarantee is a very serious, or unlimited, or tons. Sometimes I say tons of problems. One time I was talking tons. He told me, what do you mean by tons of problems? Can you give me what the definition of tons of? I told many problems. I told say many, don't say tons. Lawyers are okay, like okay, unlimited. What do you mean? There is nothing is called unlimited. You have to say okay, many. Okay, unlimited. Okay, so forgive me for that. Sometimes I mention some statements, but anyhow. So enjoy the rest of your day. Study as much as you can. Prepare yourself. If you want me to mail the material to you, you can email me with your mailing address, and I promise you I will not give it to anybody. If you don't trust us, don't send it. Okay, just attend the class and just listen, and the recording will be available. But to the best of my knowledge, even when we used to process a credit card 15 years ago, when we received the credit cards from the engineers, we never really had a single case that has been misused or this is my statement, but it's your decision. You don't have to provide us with any information if you feel that this information is not secure. This is your decision. I wish you the best, all of you. Let me stop here the first day, and I will do all my best to help you guys, and enjoy the rest of your day, but never give up. Never give up, okay? Try to study. If you took the exam once or twice before, and you didn't make it, it's not the end of the world, because they will not say that when they give you the FE certificate, they will not say that, oh, Mr. Mansour, he passed the FE, but he passed it after 4 times. They are not going to say FE 4. They are not going to say that. Okay, he will give a certificate FE only without how many times. So they are not putting the number of times that I took the exam. I'm using myself as an example, so nobody will be upset. Okay, that just, but forget the past. Okay, just have the good intention that I will pass this time, and that's it. No more money. As I said. Okay. Good night, everybody. Bye bye.